Left off on Nun Tes Amud Beis on the bottom, because it was a longer subject over there, regarding what the Mishnah said, that a woman who goes out with a ring without a seal, that's considered a clothing, a piece of jewelry, and she's not chayiv, although it's also midrabanan. And the next Mishnah, it says that if it's a ring with a seal, then it's chayiv min ha-Torah, because it's carrying, it's not considered a clothing, it's not considered a decoration, not considered a piece of jewelry. So we're going to be in a brayso, not speaking about Hilchos Shabbos, it's speaking about Hilchos Tumah. But it mentions different pieces of jewelry of a woman. And one of the examples are a ring, and it says a ring with a seal and without a seal. So it sounds very much that for a woman, a clothing is considered even with a seal. Not like our Mishnah. Let's see. V'loi b'tabas, we're holding on Nun Tes Amud Beis, it's like 7 lines on the bottom. V'loi b'tabas she'eino le'achosim, she may not go out with a ring without a seal. Ha'yesh le'achosim, but if it has a seal, chayeves, she's chayiv in ha-Torah. We know that from a few mishnayos ahead, that it says clearly that she's chayiv on a ring with a seal min ha-Torah. Almost we see lav tachshit, it's not considered a piece of jewelry for a woman. We have a contradiction on this from a brayso, from a statement of Tanoim. It speaks about Hilchos Tumah, and it says, Tachshitei noshim, jewelry, women's jewelry, Tumeim become tummy. Ve'ei lehein tachshitei noshim. What is considered women's jewelry? Katlois, the bib that we mentioned. Nizomim, here means earrings. V'tabois, rings, and the brayso specifies. V'tabas, the rings that we mentioned, bein sheyesh le'achosom, whether it has a seal, bein she'eino le'achosom, whether it does not have a seal, v'nizmi'af, and nose rings. So we see clearly that for that a ring with a seal is considered a woman's jewelry. Amar Rabbi Zera leikashi, har Rabbi Nechemia, har Rabbanan. Our Mishnah, which says that a woman's ring with a seal is not considered a woman's piece of jewelry, it follows a different and Brayso which says that it is. It follows a different machlokes. The machlokes is like this. There's a machlokes when you have a keli made out of different materials. So keli made out of wood can only be mekabel tumah if they are klei kibul, if you put something inside of them. Keli made out of metal, they're always mekabel tumah. Now, what if you have a keli which is combined of the two? So there's a machlokes. Rabbi Nechemia says, so for example, a ring with a seal. The ring can be made out of metal and the seal out of wood, or vice versa. Or some other examples. We have a yoke of an animal. We have the stick on the top and the 2 sticks sticking from the side. One is from metal, one is from wood. You have like a rack with a lot of hooks. So you have the rack and you have the hooks. So the question is like this.
Go according to what the main use is?
The job, and then you have the thing holding it. So what do you go by? What do you consider this? Do you consider this a wooden keli because the thing holding it is considered wood and then it's tar? Or do you consider it a metal keli because the thing doing the job is made out of metal, or vice versa? In other words, do you go by the thing doing the job or by the thing holding it? So the same will apply over here. A woman needs a ring for jewelry, and it has a seal in it as well. What do I look at this? A ring or a seal? If it's a seal, a woman doesn't need a seal. If it's a ring, a woman needs a ring. So the same machlokes is like by tumah. If you go by the ring or by the thing holding it, will also apply by Shabbos if it's considered a woman's jewelry or not. That's what the Gemara wants to say. And therefore, our Mishnah will be like Rabbi Nechemia, they go by the seal, and therefore it's not a woman's jewelry. And the brayso, which says that it is considered a keli, it goes by the ring, by the maimid, by the thing holding it, and therefore it is considered a piece of jewelry. Let's see. Amar Rabbi Zera leikashi, har Rabbi Nechemia, har Rabbanan, and follows the same machlokes as Rabbi Nechemia and Rabbanan in a different subject, in the subject of tumah v'tayra. Tani, we learned in a brayso. He shall mateches. If the ring is made out of metal, v'chaysam shel almoig, and the seal is made out of a wood called almoig. What's the translation? A type of wood, whatever it's called. It's made out of this thing growing in the sea, which is not mekabel tuma unless it's a kli kibul, because it's not metal. So Tameya, it becomes tummy because you go by the ring. He shall almoig, if the ring is made out of this almoig, and the seal is made out of metal, tahira, you go by the ring. But Rav Nechemia says the other way around. Shoy Rav Nechemia Omer, betabas aleich achar chisamu. By a ring, you go by the seal. That's the main part. Ba'oil by yokar on an animal. Halech achas simloinov. Go by the two sticks on the side which are holding the neck tight. That's the main part. The stick on the top is just holding these two pieces together, but these two pieces are the main part. So that's what it matters. What that's made of will decide if the thing is tummy or not. If it's metal, it's tummy. If it's wood, it's torn. The coil of on a rack where you hang things on with a lot of hooks. Halech achar masmir, go by the hooks, by the nails, not by the piece of wood behind it. Bisulam by a ladder. Halech achar shlivoisav, go by its steps. If the steps are metal, it's tummy. If it's wood, then it's torn. Ba'arsa by a bed. Halech achar shal shloisav. I'm sorry. Ba'arsa is a large scale. Halech achar shal shloisav, go by the chains that are holding the two. What do you call it? Two plates of the scale. Yeah. So you have the chain that's holding it. That's the main thing. The stick on the top is just holding those chains. That's not doing the job. No, we don't go by the thing that's doing the action. We go by the thing holding it. And therefore, by the ring, you go by the ring. By the scale, you go by the stick on the top. By the ladder, you go by the sticks on the side. By the yoke, you go by the stick on the top. The exact opposite of Reb Nechemia. So the same machlokes will be on Shabbos. If you go by the ring, then it's considered the jewelry for a woman. If you go by the seal, a woman doesn't have a seal. Ministers have seals. They want to stamp their name. A woman doesn't have a seal. That's one explanation. That solves the mystery. Our Mishnah follows Reb Nechemia. The main thing is the seal, and it's not meant for a woman. And the Brisa follows Chachamim, that the main thing is the ring, and therefore it is meant for a woman. That's one explanation. Rava gives another explanation. L'tzdodim katani. The Mishnah is mentioning two separate things together. In other words, in Tumah v'Tarda, it makes no difference if it's a woman's piece of jewelry or a man's piece of jewelry. It's tummy. So the Brisa was mentioning pieces of jewelry of a woman, but by the way, you mentioned that you have another type of ring which could also become tummy. It happens to be that it's because it's a man's piece of jewelry, fine, but it's still tummy. Who cares? So it's saying in the Mishnah, the Brisa like this: rings are tummy. Whether it's a woman's ring, which is without a seal, whether it's a man's ring, which is with a seal. Not that a ring with a seal is a woman's ring. So it's done in Katan. You have to divide the Brisa into two parts. If it has a seal, then it's a man's piece of jewelry. If it does not have a seal, it's a woman's piece of jewelry. That's one explanation. Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak says, one second, you're getting confused. A woman could have a ring with a seal. It's just not a jewelry for a woman. That's not the way that's the way she like dresses up to show off, to have a ring with a seal. That's like a man's thing, to show control. A woman could have a ring with a seal. That will be a tool, not a jewelry. Now for Shabbos, it makes a difference. If it's a tool, then I'm carrying. For Tumah, it makes no difference. Even if it's a tool, it's Mekabel Tumah. So yes, it could be a woman. A woman could own a ring with a seal. It won't be a jewelry for her. But it's still a ring. It's still Mekabel Tumah. That's Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak Amar Tumah Shabbos Karamis. You're asking from Shabbos to Tumah. Klei Maisa Amar Rachmana. For Tumah, it has to be a tool, a useful tool. And the Keliu, this is a useful tool. Shabbos, mishum masui, amar achmonu. The Torah says, do not carry a load. Ein Allah, if it does not have a seal, tachshit, it's a clothing, it's a jewelry. Yesh Allah, if it has a seal, masui, it's a load. It could still be her tool, but it's a load for Shabbos. So we have three answers. Again, our Mishnah says a woman only wears a ring without a seal. The Brisa says that for Tumah, a woman's ring is Mekabel Tumah, whether with a seal, whether without a seal. So it sounds like a woman does wear a ring with a seal. So we have three answers. One answer is that a woman could wear a ring with a seal. The question is, does she consider it jewelry? So Reb Nechemiah says we always follow the active part of a keli, and since the seal is useless or she does not pride herself with the seal, it's not considered jewelry for a woman. However, Chachamim say we always follow the base regarding Tumah. So the base is a ring. A ring is a piece of jewelry for a woman. Who cares that there's a seal on it? Disregard it. Look at the base. That's one explanation. Another explanation, Rava says, the Bryce is talking about all types of things which could receive Tumah. So it spoke about a woman's jewelry, but then by the way, it mentions whether it's a woman's jewelry, whether it's a man's jewelry, whether it's with a seal, whether it's without a seal. Reb Nachman says, no, a woman could have a ring with a seal. It's just not jewelry for her. It's not a decoration for her. She doesn't pride herself with it. And therefore, it's a tool. For Tumah, tool is also Mekabel Tumah. For Shabbos, it needed to be a clothing. It's not a clothing. Fine. Next, the Mishnah mentioned that she may not go out with a needle without a hole, but it's considered jewelry. The problem is she might show it off. But not with a needle without a hole. What's this needle without a hole? What type of jewelry do you have with needles? Like how's that decoration for a woman? So Amar Rav Yosef, Hoil v'isha igeres ba saira. She gathers her hair with it. Either the hair sticking out of her tichel, she puts it on this pin and she tucks it under her tichel, or to begin with, she wants her hair rolled up that shouldn't stick out, so she rolls it up around this pin, and then she puts her tichel on top of it. So it's holding her hair together. The problem is, as we mentioned earlier, a woman is usually we assume that she'll keep to the rules of tznius, and she will not uncover her hair. And therefore, if the pin is under her tichel, she's not going to pull it out. So, Amalei Abaye, v'teyahavi, let it be kibiris tahira. They would have socks, and they wouldn't have elastic then, so they have sometimes like these big, like, what do you call them, like bracelets, whatever it is, holding up their socks. So if she has that, she can go out with it. It's Torah also because it's serving a clothing. It's not a clothing on its own. And she may go out because she won't take it off because then the socks will fall off and she won't be tzniusdik. And therefore she'll keep it on. So the same thing should apply to this needle. If it's under her tichel, she's not going to take it out. V'tishtri, let it be allowed. Ella only Tirgum Rav Adan Arshor, Rav Adan in the city Nanush explained it. Kameder Rav Yosef, Hoil v'isha chilekes v'sayna. Women would keep it on top of the tichel, and then from time to time they would stop and they would want to, it's under the tichel, but they would still want, to make it nice under the tichel. So they would take it like to make a nice line in between to split the two parts and to make their hair nice. So they would carry it along, this needle with them. Now, it says the Gemara, B'Shabbos l'may chazir, why take it around on Shabbos? You're not allowed to do that on Shabbos. It's like boina, you're making your hair in a nice hairdo, in a nice hairstyle, by splitting it in between. That's a problem. To make that path in between the two sides of the hair is a problem on Shabbos. So it's useless to take around this needle. You can't do anything with it. So why is she carrying it around? Tas shel zav yesh la roisha. It's two things together. It's a piece of jewelry and like a small comb. So they always wear it by the end of the tichel, and the end has this like plate, the golden plate, and it's like sticking out of here, and it's like over here there's the golden plate. So it's a piece of jewelry which you could also use to move her to make her hair. So b'chayil on the weekdays From time to time, she removes it, and chilekes basara, she divides her hair. The Shabbos, on Shabbos, she just keeps it here inside. It's just a piece of jewelry. So it's a piece of jewelry, it's fine. Now, she could take it out. She's not going to uncover any hair with it. And therefore, it's a problem to go around with it on Shabbos because she might take it out and show it all. So we have this needle without a hole that somehow is a piece of jewelry. And mid'oraisa, she's allowed to go out with it. Midrabanan, not because she might remove it and show it. The question is, what is this? Why is it a piece of jewelry? And why we should take it off and show it? So the first assumption was that it's under her tichel holding her hair together, but then she won't remove it. So you say, no, it's something she uses, she keeps in her tichel, and she from time to time makes her hair a bit nicer with it. But on Shabbos, she can't do that. But still, it's a piece of jewelry. There's a plate of gold in the front, and she carries it in her tichel, and she walks around with it, and that's why it would be allowed, besides the fact that she might show it off, and therefore it's a problem. Okay. Now we finished with the clothing of a woman. Now we're going to a man's clothing. So he doesn't have jewelry, but he can have other reasons, other things that will be a problem for, as we'll see soon, which problem there will be. Lo yetze ha'ish, a man should not walk out b'sandal ha'mesumar, with a shoe that the two parts are held together with nails. V'loi b'yochid, you should not go out with one shoe. In the olden days, in times of the Mishnah, to go out without shoes wasn't like so crazy. They would walk around sometimes without shoes. But if you're going around with one shoe, that's a bit strange. And as we'll see, it might cause you to remove it. Just, it should be even. You shouldn't have any shoe. Bizman she'ein beragli maka, unless one foot has a wound, as we'll see soon, whichever, whether it's the shoe with the foot without the shoe or the foot with the shoe. But if one foot has a wound, so everyone understands why one foot has a shoe, the other foot not. And therefore, there's no problem. You're not going to remove that shoe. V'loi b'tefillin, you may not walk out with tefillin, because although you're not allowed to wear tefillin l'shem mitzvah, but technically you could wear tefillin shalom l'shem mitzvah. Stop. But outside in the street, you're not allowed to, as we'll see soon why. V'loi b'kameya, now with the kameya, with the script that's the heel, b'derech sgula, bizman she'einem min ha'mumchev, the one who made it is not professional, does not prove himself that his things work. V'loi b'shirye, not with the armor. V'loi b'kasta, not with the helmet, armor, like a helmet of a soldier. V'loi b'makafayim, not with armed boots. Not with any clothing of a soldier. V'im yotza eini chayiv chatas. If he went out with it, it's not chayiv chatas. It is considered a clothing, but for whatever reason, we'll see soon, it's a problem to walk out with it on Shabbos. So let's go one thing at a time. The first example was the shoe made with nails. Now that's very puzzling. What's wrong with that? It's a shoe. What could be the problem with the shoe? Says the Gemara, it's a gzeira. It's because of a story that happened. Sandal ha'mesumar my time. Why should I not go out with a shoe made with nails? Amar Shmuel said, Shalofei ha'gzeira hayu. There were people that were running away because of a gzeira, because of a shmad, because of there was a decree that they shouldn't keep mitzvahs, that they shouldn't learn Torah, and they were hiding. They were in a cave. And they said, if you come in gesundheit, don't walk out, because then they might find us. Now, one of them was wearing by mistake his shoes backwards. That means instead of this way, the other way around, for whatever reason. He was wearing it, I don't know exactly how you could hold it like that, but somehow was wearing it totally backwards on his foot. Not the left and the right, the right and the left, but backwards. Now they saw footprints on the floor, and they saw a footprint going outwards. It was really someone walking in, but it looked like a footprint going out. And I guess the fact that it was shoes with nails made the footprint much stronger. And they thought, one of them went out there, it must be that someone saw them. It must be that they're coming to attack them. They started, I guess, squeezing themselves either to hide or something like that. And by squeezing each other, they killed each other. It doesn't sound like it was intentional. It sounds like they were just scared and trying to squeeze themselves, and it could be that because of their shoes were with nails, so they're squeezing each other, caused that they should be killed, and therefore they made a gzeira, as we'll see soon, they made a gzeira that no more shoes with nails on Shabbos. We'll see soon why. They killed each other. There's so many people that died, much more than the enemies in that period have killed. That's one version of the story. Rabbi Eloi ben Elazar Omer, a different Tana says, or a different Amarina says, they're sitting in a cave, as we said before. They heard noises on top of the cave, and therefore they thought that the enemies are coming on them. And the same story. The only difference is whether someone was wearing his shoes backwards or that they heard noises. They're sitting in shul. They heard a noise outside of the shul. They thought the same story, what happened at the end. The question was, where were they and what exactly made them suspect? But the point was that because they were wearing shoes with nails, that caused it by pushing each other, they've killed each other. From then they said, you should never walk on Shabbos with a shoe with nails. 1 second, yeah? Says the Gemara, if so, it should be forbidden. You shouldn't be able to go with shoes with nails. If that could kill people, don't wear it. Why on Shabbos? Says the Gemara, it happened on Shabbos, and they only made exeter on Shabbos. If so, why? Maybe on Yom Tov we should be able to go out with it. We learned in the Mishnah otherwise. So the Mishnah says like this: they allowed to send someone presents on Yom Tov, as long as he can benefit from them on Yom Tov. Then he's happy. He gave him a present. He made his day. But if it's something which he cannot wear on Yom Tov, then it doesn't make him happy. So don't send it to him. So what's the example of something he will not wear on Yom Tov? A shoe with nails. So we see that on Yom Tov he cannot wear it. Mishalchim kelim b'Yom Tov, he can send kelim that he could wear on Yom Tov, whether they're ready or they still have to be tailored. So the truth is that even things that you could only use in the weekdays, you can also send on Yom Tov because they're happy that they got a present. However, this shoe that you're not allowed to wear on Yom Tov for a bad reason, because of a tragedy that happened, that doesn't make a person happy on Yom Tov. So don't send it on Yom Tov. Don't send him a shoe made with nails. Not with a shoe which was not sewn yet. Why is that? I'm not sure. Why is it not like clothes? But let's focus on what we're focusing on right now, that you're not allowed to send a nailed shoe, because you can't wear it on Yom Tov. But we said the story happened on Shabbos, and you only follow the exact story. Says the Gemara, no, you have to look a bit at the logic. The Shabbos my time. What happened on Shabbos that because of that they died? The Ika Kinufya, because many people gathered together in Shul, and therefore, since a lot of people got together and they heard a noise, that they pushed each other and they killed each other. So it has to do with the type of day. But Yom Tov Nami, Ika Kinufya, Yom Tov also everyone comes to Shul. Says the Gemara, if so, Tainus Sibur Ika Kinufya, Tainus, also everyone comes to Shul. Maybe we should not be able to wear on a Tainus shoes made with nails. Says the Gemara, Litza, let it be Yasser. Says the Gemara, the story happened when they gathered on a day when Malacha is forbidden. Hacha here, a tainus, they gather together, but there's no Malacha which is forbidden, so it's not similar to the story. So, in short, we said that a man may not go out on Shabbos with a shoe which is made with nails. The reason is because it was a story that people were hiding from enemies and they thought the enemies were coming and they pushed each other. And because their shoes were with nails, they killed each other. The story that they were hiding and they squashed each other. And the reason why they were killed was because of a shoe with nails. Either because it made marks on the ground, they thought someone went out, or because it made noise on the top and they thought the enemies were coming, or noise outside and they thought enemies were coming, or since they were afraid and they squished each other, having those shoes made them kill each other. So they said they should not wear on Shabbos shoes with nails. Why not? Why you shouldn't wear ever a shoe with nails? Because it's like this story. But on Yom Tov it also says you shouldn't wear a shoe with nails. Anything similar to the story. When people gather together, and therefore it's more likely that they should kill each other. So why not on Tainis Sibur? It has to be similar to the story that is a time that they gather together when there's no malacha done. Number one, a woman may not go out with a ring without a seal. If it's a ring with a seal, it's also min ha-Torah because it's not considered a piece of jewelry for a woman. There's a brayso which says that a woman's jewelry is makabel tuma. For example, her rings, whether it's with a seal, whether it's without a seal. So it seems like that a ring with a seal is women's jewelry. So you have three answers. One answer is the ring is the woman's jewelry, the seal isn't. The question is, what do we pay attention to in a ring with a seal, the ring or the seal? So it's a machlokes regarding tuma. Chachamim say we follow the ring. Reb Nechemia says we follow the seal. So our Mishnah goes like Reb Nechemia, we follow the seal, so it's not a woman's jewelry. And the Brayse goes like Chachamim, that we follow the ring and it is a woman's jewelry. Second answer is, the Brayse is just talking about which things are Mekabel Tuma. So if it mentions a ring, it also mentions that if it's a man's ring, it also is Mekabel Tuma. So when it says that detail of a ring with a seal, it's referring to a man's ring. The third answer is, a woman could have a ring with a seal. It's just not jewelry for her. And therefore, for Tumah, it's Mekabel Tumah. On Shabbos, it's not considered a clothing, and she may not go out with it, and she's chayiv min ha-Torah because it's considered elul. Then we spoke about a needle without a hole, that a woman may go out, is not allowed to go out, midrabanan, because she might take it off and show it off. So how's a needle jewelry? And why would she show it off? So it can't be a needle that she holds her hair with under her tichel, because she'll never take it out. It must be something which she holds in the front of her tichel, and it has like a plate of gold in the front, which is a decoration. In the weekday, she uses it to make her hair. On Shabbat, she cannot do that, but she still wears it for the decoration at the end. And that's why she's allowed. It's considered a clothing, but she's not allowed to because she could pull it out and show it off. Then we spoke about different things that a man may not wear. So we're just focusing now on the shoe with nails, that he's not allowed to wear it on Shabbos, not because anything might happen on Shabbos as in carrying, rather because it was a story that there were people hiding from enemies on Shabbos, and they were wearing shoes with nails, and the shoes with nails caused them to kill each other, either because it made a mark on the ground, or it made a noise on the top of the cave, or a noise outside of the shul, and therefore they thought that the enemies are coming and they pushed each other and killed each other, or they're actually pushing themselves with these shoes made that they should kill each other, and therefore they said, no more shoes with nails on Shabbos. Why only Shabbos? Because that's how the story happened, but it's not just the exact story that happened. We're following the logic of the story. People gathered together to one place because they weren't working. So it's Shabbos or Yom Tov, not a time of Sibur because people could work, and not any other day because they don't gather together. So if it's something similar to Shabbos and those two details, people gather together and they don't work, we cannot wear a shoe with nails.